Hey, what's up? A-Aron back for another Angelina Jordan reaction, and now we're going all the way back again to the earlier years, and I started picking up the history and realized that Unchained Melody was on the horizon. And super excited because I'm going to do a mini series for that here. And so we're going to start with a couple of rehearsals that show the age of 7 and 8. Videos show 7, and the listing in Dimly that shows 8, so somewhere thereabouts. Now, I also got an email from Jim Rowe. So thank you so much, Jim, for your suggestions, basically saying there's kind of three main varieties of it. I'm actually going to react to kind of four to cover everything. So I've got these couple rehearsals. Then I've got her at the age of 9 on the Ann Linmo show. And so we'll be covering that. And I think there's two videos. We'll probably do those together. So we'll have one for both of these rehearsals now, and then one for both of those. And then we're going to be doing one at the age of 11. And then we're also going to be doing the epic one that many of you said is one of the best performances, which is her performing the second time at the Nobel Peace Prize at the age of 17. Now, I do see that there's some from the Las Vegas show as well, so we'll probably get to those. But that epic performance, I might even do a live stream for members here. So speaking of membership, super quick message before we get in. Hey, super quick message, but very, very important. If you're a big Angelina fan or a big A-Aron Reacts fan, and you want more of it, you want more benefits, and you also want to get ahead of things. Right now, I just made the decision based on feedback from you that I'm actually going to go beyond those initial early years from Angelina, and I'm actually going all the way to the presents. If you go to the membership site from a-aronreacts.com, then you're going to actually see an option with a video, right? There's a video on the homepage. I'll link to it, but there's a video that walks through what the membership is. There's an Angelina specific membership where you get everything Angelina specifically. And I actually will go ahead and give you right now, if you go sign up right now at this very moment, there's videos in there of If I Were a Boy and Million Miles, as well as the Quincy Jones rehearsal at the age of 12 and LinkedIn promo, as well as her studio recording of I'm a Fool to Want You. And I'm going to continue to be keeping ahead of public releases for those. So for those of you that are big fans and want to continue to follow and support the channel, please go check that out now. Okay, let's get to it. This is the Unchained Melody. The video shows 7 years old. Dimly shows 8 years old. It's somewhere in that ballpark, right?
And yeah.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. Goes by so slowly, and I can do so much. Are you still mine?
Wow.
I need your love. God, spit your love to me. Lonely river flow to the sea, to the sea. I'll be coming home to the sea, yeah. Lonely riverside.
Er det forskjellige akkorder?
Nei,
Samme.
Wait for me. I'll be
Let's stop there. So A lot to unpack here. First of all, this is an epic song, right? It was first created back in 1950s. I forget the exact year. But it was for the actual film Unchained. About it's a prison film. I don't think I've seen the thing in its entirety. I've seen bits and pieces. Um, where I know it and understand it is the iconic scene in Ghost, right? And it's got Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, who has, sorry if I'm giving away, but probably most of you have seen it, or you would find this out super quickly anyway, right? And fast forward 20 seconds if you don't want the spoiler alert, right? But where ultimately she realizes that he's actually a ghost and he's there. I think it's the whole scene with the penny going up the door and so forth, and it's super iconic. Now that version and here are very similar. I think that's the Righteous Brothers take on it, right? There's a lot of different artists that have done this. There's the Elvis version. There's Sam Good. There's so many different variations of this, right? And I'm not remembering all of them. Um, and here I feel like she's holding to the Righteous Brothers original version more than anything. And I don't recall, because it's been a while since I've heard that song, but I feel like it's close to the tempo. She might have slowed it down a little bit. She typically does. Um, it's remarkable, as it always is, how well she's able to hold her timing in this, as well as, I mean, just the initial cues. She started off and right in time. From the guitar perspective, she was right on that next hit together, right? She gave the cue, and then Egil, I think is what the name, how the name is pronounced properly. I think someone told me that. But in any case, he establishes the actual beat and she picks up on it instantly, right? And this is a difficult song as it relates to, it's up and down the scale, with a couple of difficult intervals with the slides, and then there's all these runs through there. And those are very challenging, especially for young vocalists. And there was that one in the middle, which I said wow on, because I don't think she hit it spot on, but it was dang near close and incredibly difficult. Like, I'm not a vocalist, so I can't truly comment on how difficult, but I would bet you that if I sat there with a keyboard figuring out the exact pitches and everything and worked on it for a day, I probably, full day, like 8 hours, probably still couldn't seamlessly hit all those notes as she did. I think it was off slightly, but so dang close. And, her accuracy of pitch is very, very accurate throughout all of this. Her tone, she's always had that lower register fuller, and we hear and see that here, and it starts off quite low, and it's mostly the lower register, right? And she's very comfortable there, and it shows here. And she has such a good timbre, good sound in that lower register. Now, we do, again, this is common from some of the earlier years. We hear that breathy, airy sound from her, and I don't hear it as much here, but there are moments thus far where it comes through more than others, right? And so I'm guessing that she's still figuring this out. And I think her teeth are, finally fully developed here. So it's probably all new to her. But yeah, let's get back to it.
Coming home, wait for me. Oh, my love.
I heard a little bit of harmony. Was that Mary?
Oh, my love, my darling.
It's actually unison.
I'm hungry, hungry for your touch.
So, those who've been following me and my reactions to her realize that I say this with the utmost respect. That, any critiquing I do of her is her journey, and just, no other 7-year-old or 8-year-old or whatever age she is here, could do this. Like, I I I mean, I know Quincy Jones compared her to Michael Jackson, and I think probably he's the only one I can think of that's even at that potential level at this age, right? So let's understand that stage first of all. It's ridiculous, right? That said, This isn't a flawless performance. Um, but it's incredibly difficult and incredible what she's able to do here. I mean, it's literally more flawless than, if you took a seasoned adult, or excuse me, not seasoned, but a full-grown adult that isn't developing, isn't changing, and you gave them private lessons of vocal studies. My guess is a full year of actual dedication every day, all day long, before they could probably, assuming they weren't a singer before that, right? Before they could attempt to touch this in the way that she is, right? And here she is at 8 with, this not even being her first language and just jamming it. And it's one of like 50 billion songs already in her repertoire at this point. I mean, it's beyond remarkable. So please don't misconstrue or misunderstand me when I say it's not flawless, which I've seen in her later performances. Oh my God, how can you possibly critique anything, right? But anyway, let's get back to it.
No time.
Oh, that vibrato there was beautiful. So reserved and
And
controlled.
time goes by.
I love how she switches her tone. Goes. Time goes by. Listen how she switches her tone here.
And time goes by.
Sorry, I'm by. I'm by.
Time goes by.
Yeah, halfway through it, she switches.
So slowly, and time
Ooh,
can
that was beautiful.
do so much.
Octave down.
Are you still more? I need your love.
Wow, so that's a remarkable feat there. She's jumping between chest and head voice, and I think she might have even touched falsetto a little bit there, at the end with ease. And the beginning of that phrase was actually very upper chest voice. That was really high. And just that control. Oh my gosh. Yeah, still through all of that in chest voice and then up. I think she ran out of air at the end of that phrase, actually. I'm sure she would have chosen to have a little bit more refined ending to that note and vibrato. Maybe not.
Need your love. God spirit your through me.
It's hilarious that if that's Mary or Sarah or somebody else, I'm not sure. I assume it's Mary or Sarah, and I don't know their singing voices, so apologies. Let me know. But when she flipped up to the, just the higher pitch singing, it was funny because it was almost like they were trying to give Angelina the cue, but they were actually off the pitch, and Angelina stayed on. She didn't falter. Which that is just that restraint. Ooh. So, okay, so you heard her struggling with that, but if you haven't followed her earlier or haven't studied, I could be mistaken, but I'm quite sure, I'm pretty dang sure, at least for what I've listened to, and I've gotten almost everything up to this age from her, that I'm aware of. That's absolutely the highest note she's attempted. And here she's trying to do it sustained on pitch with a vibrato. And so she's pushing the boundaries of her range here, which is fantastic. And now it makes sense how she continued with bigger range down the road. At least what I've heard is a quite extensive range, much bigger than here or the early years, right? But you saw and you see a little chuckle there because she's having fun with it. She's learning. She understands. You see Egil here as well. Like, yeah, that was. Yeah. But this is how you develop, right? It's a rehearsal. And honestly, if that's the first time she's tried such a feat, especially the sustained note, it's fantastic. It's definitely far from perfect. Um, and the breath control. So that was clearly a struggle for her, and she's laughing about it, and that just shows such poise, such professionalism to joke about it and just to have fun with it. And it also shows the childlike side of her. She's not embarrassed. All right, let's quickly get into the other because this is already pretty long.